This form right here, standard form. And then yesterday I introduced to you vertex form. Why is it convenient to put something in vertex form? How do you find the vertex if it's already in vertex form? It's the what values up here? H and K values. And what's the method to go from standard to vertex? We do what? Complete the square. Yep. We're all good there because we're going to do a second day of this today, but it's not the same. It's going to be a little bit more challenging, I think, for some of you, but we'll see. Do you guys have any questions on the stuff you ended up doing yesterday? I know a lot of people finished early. I'm hoping you check this stuff to make sure you're doing it right, especially E and F. Anytime the B value is odd, I don't know if you're starting to see this, but anytime the B value is odd, you are going to end up with decimals. Because when you divide an odd number by 2, you get 0.5. All right. Anything you want me to touch upon before we go, Caitlin? E. All right. So move the 4 over. Get the C value over. Well, first I should have checked A value 1. Okay. So move the C value over. What is your B value? 5, right? Divided by 2. And then square it. 6.25. All right, so I add 6.25 to the left side to keep it balanced while keeping 6.25 on the right side. Over here, you get y plus, oh boy, here we go, 2.75. How are we looking? No, it's not. 2.25. And this is not just going out to Caitlin, this is going out to everybody. Do you understand what number, how to get that number that goes in here? Because I don't know how many of you are going to actually factor in it by finding numbers that multiply to this one and add to this one. What's the trick? I hate the word trick. What's the way that number in? Half the original B value. So it's going to be x plus 2.5. Good. Now to get in vertex form, I need a minus or a plus k value over here, and that's where this comes into play. I move the 2.25 over. So x plus 2.5 squared minus 2.25. Good? Okay, so now your vertex for this problem, h and k. H is 2.5, but in the formula it's minus h. So it's negative 2.5 and then negative 2.25. Got it. Yep. All right. Anything else? Because here's the deal today. What happens when I put an actual A value that's not 1 in front and I need it into vertex form? Because it's not what you guys think. Anything else? Let's ask away here. Go ahead. It's just like I don't know, it's just something in math. Like I want you to understand the math behind it and not it's a trick. Okay, because it's not a trick. It always comes out to be half the B value. Okay. Yes.
When you're finding like the H and the K, you know how like they have to be negative and positive, but like sometimes you leave it. Like how do you? Like I'm confused.
Okay. Remember the formula for vertex form: x minus h squared, right? Plus k. So if this is positive in here, how did it get to be positive? Your h must have been negative because 2 negatives makes a positive, right? So if this is positive like it was in this one, that must have meant my h had to have been negative. Because watch, I plug in a negative 2.5 just for h, Emma, just for h. What are those 2 negatives going to turn into? Positive, right? And this is plus k, all right? And this ended up being minus 2.25. So really, take a look, and hopefully I don't make this even more confusing, but this is the same as writing positive negative 0.25, 2.25. And what's your k value now?
So that's why you don't turn that to a positive.
Correct. Okay. All right. Other questions? Good question. Anything else? All right, let me see it. And then everybody make sure you have some type of graphing calculator available to you right now. And I'm going to skip over some of the notes today. We're going to go, once I check your packet work, we're going to go right to number 4 because it's going to be a review from yesterday earlier. I know. Yep. Make sure you watch the video. They need to see that one page. Oh, hey, how you been? End of class. Okay. And then we'll talk. There we go. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go right to number 4. Go right to number 4 because the other stuff is review from yesterday, which you will be able to have time to do at the end of class. It's part of your homework tonight. All right, I'm asking you to place these standard form equations in vertex form, but there's a big problem. These don't look the same as yesterday. What's the big difference? A is not 1. Okay, A is not 1. So what I would assume you would do is divide everything by the A value because that's what you did when you completed the square, right? But there's a problem to that. Here's the problem. Everybody right now, in your calculator, in your Y1 screen, can you please plug in 3x squared minus 12x plus 10? Don't graph it yet. Now, let's say you divided everything by 3. What would this one become? Okay, go ahead. X squared. What would this one become? Minus 4x. And we're going to have to use our fraction template for the next one because this one would become, if I divided that by 3, 10 over 3. So if you guys could get your fraction template out for that one, alpha y equals, and put in 10/3. Are you familiar with your fraction template at this point in the year? Okay, I don't want to assume anything. So, and if you graph both of them right now, are they the same graph they came out to yesterday? No. So that's why I can't divide by the A value. Okay, that's why I cannot divide by the A value here. All right, so when I put this in vertex form, I am not going to start by dividing everything by the A value. Everybody good? And I showed you why, because you're changing the size of the parabola. Okay, you're changing the size of it. Is everybody good there? So please do not, I'm trying to harp on this right away, don't divide by the A value when you put it into vertex form. All right, so you're not going to divide by the A value. What's the next step in completing the square? Move the C value over. What's the C value up here? Whew, boot it over. Y minus 10 equals 3x squared minus 12x. We all good? But I still run into this darn problem. I can't complete the square unless the A value is what? 1. Now we're going to make it 1. We're going to factor out a 3 here. All right, we're going to factor out a 3. All right, to make the A value 1. We're not dividing everything by 3. Take a look. To make the A value 1, we're going to factor out a 3, like a GCF. Okay, because I need the A value to be 1 for me to start completing the square. What's inside, guys? X squared with an A value of 1 minus just take a look at what I did up there. Everybody all right? I moved the C value over, and then I made the A value 1 by taking out a GCF, which you'll be able to do. Now do you see what you have in your parentheses? What's your A value? 1. You ready to complete the square? Find the C value that makes this a perfect square trinomial, that what we've been doing all unit long. What's your B value? -4, cut it in half. Mentally cut -4 in half. -2 and square it. 4. Plus 4. Everyone's seeing where that 4 is coming from. I'm completing the square of what I have in here. Now, here is where you have to be extremely careful, because I know what some of you guys are thinking right now. You added 4 to the right. Why are you not keeping it balanced and adding 4 to the left, right? That's what we've been doing. Here's why. Because you're not actually adding 4 to the right. You're actually adding a lot more than that. I'll just say that and I'll let you think about that for a second. Calm it down, boss. I let people think about it. All right? You and your puffy jacket, settle down. All right? Joking, Josh. It's jokes. I did not add 4. Because remember, what did I take out before this step? The 3. So I actually took out a 12. Everybody see that? I took out a 12 here. So I'm not going to add 4 to the left side. I'm going to add 12 to the left side. Marco, you good there, boss? Okay. Worry sometimes. All right. So we okay on why this is a 12 and not a 4. I know this is painstakingly slow for some of you, but I want to make sure. Now, 3. Factor that like we've been doing. What's this going to factor into? Because that's a perfect square trinomial. X minus 2 squared. Oh, this is almost looking like vertex form, isn't it? Almost. We're just missing that little something something here. Almost. What's this? Clean this up over here. This will be plus 2. Almost in vertex form. What do I need to do to finish this sucker off? Move the 2 over. So now you'll just have an A value there that's not 1. So x minus 2 squared minus 2. And now could somebody, and I apologize for the room we gave you, but can somebody identify the turning point now that we've put it into vertex form? The 3 has no effect on the turning point. The 3 just means I'm stretching it, right? That's all it means. What do you got back there, stud? 2, because that's a negative. All right, so 2. Emma, you see here, going back to your question, why I'm just putting 2 versus -2. Because it's x minus h, and it's already minus, so I'm just putting the 2 there. Good? Let me know if it's not. I'll do it a different way. And then, okay, here you go then. That's a -2. 2, -2. Questions? 1 doesn't make you great. What do you got there, bud? Why don't I distribute what x?
Like why isn't it 3x out of the parentheses?
Where am I looking here? Here? Okay, because this is the only thing I can complete the square on. And if I did distribute the 3, where am I going to go back to? I'm back to the beginning, right? And you can't complete the square unless the A value is what, Sam? You cannot complete the square unless the A value is? Somebody help a poor kid out. Right? The A value's got to be 1 to complete the square. And if you distribute, what's your A value? 3. Right? So that's why I didn't just redistribute that 3 at all. Completing the square must be done when the A value is 1. You good? Did you get a new haircut, by the way? No? All right, sorry. You just actually look presentable today, I guess. All right. Too harsh? Too harsh? Sorry, Sam. Get over it. All right, here we go. 1 doesn't make you great. Guys, please do not go on to C either. I'm going to have plenty of time to do C. You'll have plenty of time to do C. All right, so I recognize they're asking me to put it in vertex form, but the A value is not 1. So I do not divide by 2, though. because we just found out it'll change the size of the parabola. I do move the c value over, though. Y minus 11 equals 2x squared plus 4x. You know you got to complete the square, but you can't unless the a value is 1. What do I do to the right side to make the a value 1? Take out a 2. Do not divide it away. Just take it out. So take out a 2. X squared plus 2x. Now the a value is 1. So now inside, complete the square. Inside the parenthesis, complete your square. I think it's time to hear from some of you. What c value will complete the square of this trinomial? Oh, all right, let's start off with 16 today. Half of 2. Half of 2 is 1. Square it, you get 1 back, right? We're all good?
Never mind.
We all right? All right, just checking. Anything? All right, y minus 11. And again, don't add 1 to the left side because you're not really adding 1. What am I really adding to the right and the left now? 9. What am I really? It's not a 1. It's really 2. So negative 11 plus 2 equals 2 times. I'm going to look for somebody to factor that beast. 3. What do you got for me here? X plus 1 all squared. Yep. And then we are looking like vertex form very quickly here. Clean up the left side. Y minus 9. And finally, to get this into vertex form, what do you got for me? 23. Okay, so I'm looking at 2 times x plus 1 squared plus 9. And then how about our turning point now? Our turning point. 9, our turning point. Negative 1 and 9. Guys, got any questions? Again, please don't go on to C. I'm going to do number 6 with you right now in a second. But last thing, do you see how this a value has no effect on the turning point? But a challenge question. Hey, challenge. What is happening to this parabola if this is bigger than 1? If that a value right here is bigger than 1, what's happening? Is it getting compressed or is it getting stretched? Stretched. Okay, so this parabola is getting stretched. All right, I got one. I'll do this last one with you. I'll let you read through that, determine which one has the lower minimum value. You got x squared plus 10x, and you got your table here. Okay, got it. Who's got 11? You get the easy one. Go to the g of x table. What's the minimum value for that table? Minimum value. Negative 9 for the table. What's your minimum number? The smallest one up here. Okay, there we go. Everyone see, for g of x, the minimum equals negative 18. Are we okay on that part? We all good? How it's negative 18. It's the smallest, it's the lowest value. All right, f of x. Open up or down? Is there any way, anything we've done already this unit, you can find me that minimum value? I could, okay, a couple ways. Tom says do negative b over 2a. That's the what again? Axis of symmetry, that'll get you the x value, and then how do I find the y? Plug it back in. So that's one way. I'm going to let you guys decide. We're going to decide as a class, but one way is find the axis of symmetry, plug it back in, and that'll give you the minimum. Or I could turn that standard form into what? Vertex form, and it'll give me the vertex, which I'm going to do with you because that's just what we're on. So do you got, hey, everyone, you see the two different options? Do fine axis symmetry and plug it back in. That'll give you the minimum. Or like we're going to do right now, make it into vertex form. All right, I'm not a big fan of the f of x there. Suggestions I could turn it into. Y up, y equals x squared. Hey, a value's already 1, perfect. And how about this? Is there a c value? So there's nothing to move over. If you want to put a 0, minus 0 on the other side to make yourself feel warm and fuzzy inside, go ahead. Whatever floats your boat, but there's no c value to move over. So we're already to the point where we are going to find the c value that completes the square. What is my new c value here that's going to complete the square? 9? How'd you get it? Just explain to everyone in case somebody doesn't know. How do you get 25? 5 squared is 25. And anybody else? What's happening right now? It's tipping, so I got to add 25 to the other side. All right, somebody factor that for me now. 14, factor that for me.
It would be x plus 5.
Thank you. When's this going to look like vertex form? When you do what here? 5. What do I need to do to finish this in the vertex form? How? There you go. Okay, what's the vertex now, or the turning point of this one then? What's the vertex or the turning point of this one? Hey, 20, what do you got for me? That's the x coordinate.
Yeah. At negative 65.
Which way are you doing here?
I did the other one.
So you did x equals negative b over 2a.
Yeah.
And then you should have gotten negative 5.
Yeah.
You store negative 5 in for x, and then plug it into x squared plus 10x, if you're going to do it that way. So store negative 5 in for x, and then plug it into x squared plus 10x. What are you plugging in your calculator here? Here we go. Ready?
I stored in x for negative 5.
Okay, hold on. I'll do the same thing. Negative 5 stored in for x. Got it. And x squared plus 10x. Right? Negative. Okay. What's the minimum then for this one? Negative 25. The minimum's negative 25. So my answer here, which one has the lower minimum? F of x. Yep, f of x has the lower minimum. Because it's negative 25 and the other one was negative 18. Questions, comments? Okay. You guys have some Chromebooks out around you. If you want to move around and work with other people, as long as cell phones don't come out, you guys know my policy. All right, start working on those 2 pages there. You guys got 28 and 27 for tonight.